Who wants to go get ice cream?
Me! May I take your order?
Can I get an ice cream cone?
We don't have ice cream right now.
Not today.
Not today.
Maybe tomorrow or something.
Or next week, I don't know.
Does that happen a lot, like that the machine's down?
Yeah, in this one, yeah.
Okay. For a few years now, people have taken notice that the ice cream machines at McDonald's always seem to be down.
The ice cream machine part is not working.
I started talking to McDonald's franchise owners and managers and guests. It turns out there is something really weird going on here. And something that shows that McDonald's broken ice cream machines actually reveal a bigger story about how big businesses protect one another, even if that means hurting their customers. So Jack, why are the ice cream machines always broken?
So once the internet started to notice this, the Wall Street Journal and Business Insider and a bunch of other outlets started to report on it. And the conclusion that they came to was that these machines aren't actually broken. They're just going through a really long and really complicated cleaning cycle that lasts 4 hours at a time. And when that happens, the employees tell you it's broken because it's just easier.
So Wendy's doesn't have this problem. And what's crazy is that they use the same brand of machine as McDonald's does, and yet they don't have a McBroken. It's not an internet meme for them, nor is it for other places that use the same brand of ice cream maker, like In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A or a bunch of others. So why is it only McDonald's that has a problem with the broken ice cream maker? Who is getting rich every time one of these things breaks? And why they have an incentive to keep them broken?
One question that needs to be asked is, should you be building ice cream machines if after 17 years you still can't get the software right?
So let's look at the machine in question here. It's this guy, the C602. It's made by a company called Taylor. This machine is made specifically for McDonald's. Taylor is like an OG partner of McDonald's. They've been doing business together since the very beginning of McDonald's. They're both based. Like I said, Taylor makes ice cream machines for a bunch of other fast food restaurants like Wendy and Chick-fil-A, and those machines aren't broken all the time. So if you want to start a McDonald's franchise, you sign an agreement with McDonald's corporate that says, I'm going to open a restaurant and I'll make sure that everything is standardized. It's a part of this agreement that says you have to use this kind of French fry and you have to use one of 2 different companies for your fryer and your grill or whatever. When this new ice cream machine came out in 2003, McDonald's had it in their agreement with all their franchises, which is like 16,000 in the United States, that they had to use this machine. No other machine. They could not use any other machine on the planet. They had to use the C602 made by McDonald's and Taylor. So let's dive into this machine. Ice cream is dairy, and dairy needs to be kept at a certain temperature to stay safe. So what they do once per day is they heat up the whole machine, including the ice cream mixture, to like 151 degrees Fahrenheit. They leave it at that temperature for a while it kills off all the bacteria, and then it comes back down to a freezing temperature where it turns into ice cream. That process takes about 4 hours, and this is the thing that you hear about all the time as the explanation for why the machine is always down. But here's the nuance here that really illuminates the story. Usually the employees do this overnight while the store is closed. Someone in the night shift gets the cleaning cycle going and then they lock up for the night. The next morning, new employees who are opening the store for the morning show up and they look at the ice cream machine. And on the screen, they usually see one of 2 things. Heat cycle was successful, the ice cream machine is ready to use, or heat cycle failed. They don't know exactly why the heat cycle failed overnight. They're looking at this interface that looks like it's from like 1983, and all they see is something like heat mode failure or some other obscure code that doesn't really tell you what happened. The machine is completely locked out until you successfully run one of these heat cycles. So the employee tells their manager, the manager has no idea why the heat cycle failed, and so they just tell their employee to like run it again. Employee runs the heat cycle again, and it fails again. Probably for the same reason it failed in the first place, which nobody knows at this point. Finally, the manager calls the franchise owner, the owner of the business, and says, what do we do? And the franchise owner says, we need to get ice cream sales going. This is not okay. We're losing money. Just call the guy. Just call the guy. The guy, in this case, means one guy or woman, which is an authorized service technician from Taylor, the company who makes the machine. Turns out that Taylor is the only company that is authorized to repair and maintain these machines. It's in their contract. The desperate franchise owner, the one who runs the business, has to decide, do I deal with angry customers who are yelling at me because I don't have ice cream? Or do I just call the guy and get them to come repair this at any cost? It doesn't matter. I watched a bunch of advertisements for Taylor Company. They hardly talk about their product here. Their advertisements are more about how great their repairs team is.
Innovators don't build machines. They solve problems. This is an expert technician. There are 6,500 Taylor technicians worldwide ready to help you. The Taylor Company.
25% of their revenue comes from this repair and parts service of their business. This sort of reoccurring revenue you can rely on month after month, is like gold for investors. Taylor can rely on services and repairs from McDonald's ice cream machines. We got our hands on the software for some of these machines. Since 2003, when this thing came out, there have been quite a few software updates. But instead of improving usability of the software has actually introduced just new sets of cryptic error codes that don't help anyone solve any problems. One person I was talking to was like, they just opened a store and it was a brand new store, brand new machine, and they're like, yeah, in the first few months we called the guy like 4 or 5 times. One franchise owner I talked to said, all roads lead to call the technician. Like this product is designed to get you to call the technician. At this moment, as I'm talking to you, 15% of all ice cream machines in the US are down. Now, next time you're at McDonald's and they don't have ice cream, just know that it's not because of lazy employees, it's not because of lack of training, it's because there's an old relationship between 2 old companies that don't want things to change.